Now there's a steal by Bird. Underneath the DJ, lays it in.
Pierce for three. It's good. Tatum puts up a three. Bang!
Welcome to the Celtics Rewind. I'm JP.
And I am Nat The GM. What's up, y'all?
Hey, everybody. This is episode 7 of the Celtics Rewind, talking all things Boston Celtics. I'm JP, the franchise. That's Nat The GM. What's up, Nat? How you doing?
What's going on, JP? I'm doing well.
That's good. That's good. I'm keeping myself afloat here, a little sick, but the Boston Celtics kind of became my therapy this past week as they go at a 2-0 record this week against the Chicago Bulls and the Philadelphia 76ers, where we're going to go ahead and get into. So let's go ahead and start off with the Chicago Bulls because, we usually kind of have like some struggles against the Chicago Bulls. They play us really tough, but this game, it just seems like they were just really good from start to finish, and Chicago couldn't really do anything. And plus, let me ask you this question first before we get into the game. Do you care so much about the Celtics winning the in-season tournament more than just going and win a championship? Or you think this in-season tournament is one of these that I don't really worry much about it. I just care about what's going to happen at the end.
I really don't care about this in-season tournament when it comes to the teams that are trying to win championships, at the end of the season. I don't care about that for them. But what I do like is for teams like Indiana or Orlando, like these kinds of teams, Sacramento. These are teams that are not going to win a championship. We know this. So I like it for the aspect of those guys because it's going to give some kind of confidence, going forward. It's also going to show you possibly, I'm hoping this is the thought process, but what do I have when it comes to this team? So if they can win in-season tournament, how far are we, or how far off are we to get another piece and maybe win an actual championship? So I like it for that aspect. It would be kind of boring to me if it was Boston wins in-season tournament and then Boston wins an NBA championship. I'm like, I kind of want to see the other guys win the in-season tournament.
Yeah, I'm not really a huge fan of it. It's just like the play-in tournament that came, a couple years ago, and it still goes. I'm not really huge on it. I'm just like, okay, it might grow on me, but I'm like, I love the competition aspects. I don't like the courts at all. But it gives a certain field competition that I like to see in games and stuff for players to play. But at the end, I don't really tell much about it because you're just getting a trophy. You're just getting a lot more money and stuff. It does count towards the regular season and all, but I just don't really care about it at the end of the day and stuff, though. But in terms of this game, though, it was high stakes because Celtics lost to Orlando, and if they didn't beat the Chicago Bulls by 23 points or more than that, then they're going to be knocked out of the tournament. I don't really like the point differential type of thing. I would much rather go by standings, but the Celtics did prevail and won by 27 points, and they got themselves in the quarterfinals, and the other teams that was in the group are out. So what's your takeaways looking at the Chicago Bulls versus the Boston Celtics and the win, a really good win for the Boston Celtics at the end?
Boston versus Chicago. Chicago is kind of like a fire sale. They're going to start, you get a player, you get a player, we all get a player. They got to let that team go. Kind of sucks because you thought that they were going to do something. I think what really messed them up was Lonzo. Lonzo was a huge part of what they were doing, and he was the reason why it made sense. Year 1 was Lonzo, year 2 was Zach LaVine, year 3, was DeRozan, Your 4 was Patrick Williams, and then your 5 is Vooch. That was a hell of a starting 5. And they were going to be able to play very well, and they were going to be better defensively. Lonzo was going to make a lot of shit better for them. And it just didn't work out that way. Lonzo, I think at some point will come back. And I think that, he'll be in a reserved role on off the bench. I don't think he'll have the same explosiveness, but it's just not good for them. This is not a good situation for Chicago anymore. So I think that DeRozan will be gone at the end of the season. I think that Zach LaVine is the first to go. I actually don't think there's anything wrong with Zach LaVine right now. I think he'll be gone. And I feel bad for Vucevic, and just so long as he doesn't go to a team that I despise. I've always liked Vooch. He's a hell of a player. So Vooch is going to go somewhere. The team's going to have a fire sale. There was no competition versus Boston. You weren't going to beat Boston, Everyone had to hit all their threes. You would have had to hit 70% from the field to beat this team. Boston is just a different kind of animal. So I knew they would win, and once I understood they had to win by 23 points at least, I said, okay, this is going to be a blowout. So, and it was.
Yeah, it was, and it was just so bad that Porzingis got L time, and he's just sitting there with his suit on and talking to the media instead of just focusing on the game. Like he got a lot of L time right there. So I had a watch party on playback. Shout out to HoopSpaces. Definitely, if you want to see live streams, definitely hit up playback, and you get like games to watch, and then you be hanging out with people. So it's pretty cool. So we had the watch party, and pretty much it was just been a blowout. It's just like, man, like Boston was just on one, and unfortunately Chicago just couldn't do anything, unfortunately. So good win for the Boston Celtics. Now the next game against Philadelphia, we've been hearing the news. Porzingis been out. We hear the news that Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey are out because of illness. So in everybody's minds, it's like Boston's going to blow out Philadelphia. But unfortunately, a guy named Patrick Beverley looked like freaking Steph Curry out there, like just looking like an all-star, just playing really well. And Boston, like, they really had to grind in this game to win. And it was just a bad game for Boston. What's your takeaways from that game? Because it was a bad game for Boston. Even though the percentages in terms of field goal and three-point shot, they're good. But when you watch the eye test, it was not a great game for Boston.
It wasn't necessarily a great game for Boston, but this is the thing. Philly, you still have NBA players on that team. And you still have guys that can put the ball in the hoop. That's what that's all you saw, and they played really hard because they really wanted to win that game. They don't beat Boston. They were going to give you everything that they had to beat Boston, and they still could not do it. They tried their damnedest. They were giving you everything that they had, and it just did not work out that way. So that game, they hit a lot of shots. They, lo and behold, Jason Tatum gets thrown out for complete trash, just a trash ass reason, and
it was
terrible, and and they still can't win. So it doesn't matter who plays, you can't beat us. Yes, I just wanted to say that for all my Philly fans out there. You might get a Super Bowl this year, maybe. But you're not gonna beat the Boston Celtics. We got you. We have your number every year.
Exactly. Yeah, that ejection was just confusing because I'm just like, as bad as Jason Tatum efficiency was good, but he was turning over the ball because the Celtics had 20 turnovers. He caused like 7 turnovers that game, and what they were doing is that they were kind of trying to trap him most of the game, and then just that was just a really bad ejection. And Jason Tatum is usually one of those players that's calm and collected. Now, he could get a little fiery with the refs and stuff if he believes that they made the wrong call and stuff, but he's usually calm and collected and plays his game. But yeah, that was just I was confused by that ejection though. But yeah, but shout out to Philly though. They came out, they were hustling, they were just, trying to get the rebounds, they were hitting their shots and stuff, but it was just too much Boston. Boston didn't shoot well, but in terms of the defensive end, they played really well towards the end. Sometimes they can shoot well and then they play bad defense, or they'll play good defense and they'll shoot really bad at the end. Al Horford, the past 2 games, I got to give a huge shout out to Al Horford. He's been really huge in Porzingis' absence. You could see that he is just playing his role really well and increasing his role really well, shooting the ball really well, being able to play defense, being so reliable, hit 2 clutch free throws to seal the game against the 76ers. How impressed with you with Al Horford so far this season and also in these last 2 games, knowing that Porzingis is going to be out for a significant amount of time?
When it comes to Al Horford, he's doing exactly what I thought that he was going to do, which is a reserved role, where you don't have to lean on him. He doesn't have to be that big that scores 15 points anymore. He can come in, give great defense, rebound the ball, maybe, get you 8 to 10 points, and that's okay. And that's what we needed from Al Horford. So now I think it's even better for Al this year personally, because great, I don't have to do all this stuff as I, was doing before, and I can be of more service. I can help more. And that's what I see when it comes to this team and Al Horford. I think he's been great, and he's done exactly what I thought he was going to do in a more reserved role. So they can't win a championship without Al Horford. I will say that. Al Horford, your X factor. Especially coming off that bench, that is your guy. When Porzingis comes back, and then you have Al Horford off the bench with Hauser being so consistent, having a great season, and Pritchard coming on, those are the 3 people that you are going to bank on coming off that bench. If these guys are going to play as they've been playing, and Horford leading the way, this team is just, it's a hell of a team.
Yes, it is. And what do you think about? I see most of the time. So whenever Boston starts getting the jump ball at the beginning of the game, the first thing they do is they get Jaylen Brown going. Because that has been the very first play. Jaylen Brown's in the fast break go to get a dunk. Jaylen Brown's going to go hit the mid-range. Jaylen Brown hitting 3-point shot. Do you like that idea for them after the jump ball, to start the game, to get Jaylen Brown going to be aggressive at the start?
Yes. Because Jaylen is a guy that he starts very well, and I think that just goes with his game. Start very well. JT is a really good closer. So when it comes to that, I love it because it means that they're, hey, this is his time. I'm gonna give you that time. We're gonna get this, JB open. We're gonna make sure that the ball gets in his hands. And then they switch off, and then JT, then gets it going. And I think that that's actually what's been working really well for the Celtics team this year. They're playing very good basketball, but no one's like, hey, give me the ball. I got it. They're actually playing off of each other. Everyone's down in points, but JT especially is up in efficiency. JB, I think, will come up eventually. Get some things under his belt. He'll come up efficiency-wise. And then Kristaps Porzingis is just having a hell of an efficient year. So it's working. This group of guys is working really well.
I agree with you 100%. I definitely do like the move too as well. And then I also like the fact that, they struggled the past couple seasons in terms of 3-point shooting, in terms of if they are off, they're going to keep shooting the 3-point shot. I like the fact that this year they kind of know that they can go ahead and attack the rim. So they go ahead and attack the rim, or they'll set screens to get somebody to hit the mid-range shot, or just moving the ball around to get the open man. Now, sometimes we still see them try to take more 3-point shots, but at the same time, they look a little bit more different than they did the past couple of seasons because, like I said, you live by the 3 and you die by the 3. So I like the fact that they're trying their best to adjust and being able to do it in different ways, whether it be attacking the paint on being able to hit mid-range shots or setting screens or moving the ball around. So this Boston Celtics team is a little bit different. Now, speaking of different, the in-season tournament is here, and this is the quarterfinals. They have the Indiana Pacers tonight, and knowing the fact that last time we faced the Pacers, we had like the second or third highest score in Celtics franchise history by scoring 155, 157 points. I don't remember the exact total. What's your expectations for Boston against Indiana? How far can they go into the in-season tournament? Because a lot of people saying that the Boston Celtics is going to have the best odds of winning the in-season tournament.
Looks like they do have the best odds. I think they're going to win this game, versus the Indiana Pacers. I just think that, when you're bottom half of the league in defense, and you're playing a top offensive team who is one of the top offensive and top defensive teams, I think that just it becomes a little bit of a challenge. But I think that they will beat the Indiana Pacers. When it comes to when it comes to just winning, the in-season tournament in general, I think their schedule is nice, and so I can see it. There's another team I can see winning it all as well for the in-season tournament. But I like Boston's chances.
I do too as well. And yeah, with Indiana tonight, because they're a fast and run and gun type of team and stuff. We've seen a little bit when we seen the 2-2-1 defense against the 76ers Friday. Well, 76ers was running up the pace and stuff. And then we seen Boston slow the pace down by running the 2-2-1. So hopefully that can happen tonight. Hopefully we can see, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum have like a really good game and other people step up to the plate. So we'll just have to wait and see. It's going to be good. I know Indiana's like undefeated in the in-season tournament, and we'll see what happens. Should be a really good game though. So, any last thoughts about Boston's upcoming schedule or like game that you looking forward to see? What you expect more from a certain player, or what's your last message you want to say?
I love what the bench for Boston has been doing. Pritchard has come on as of the last, I say, couple weeks, which is great because that they really need him. I think that Hauser is a guy that no one saw coming, including Celtics fans. He's playing really good defense, and he's offensively very sound. And he's shooting a 43, which is fantastic. And then Cornette, you got to give him credit for, coming in and always giving the game what it needs. And shout out to KP. I think he'll be back at some point this week. Loving what this Boston Celtics team is doing. They are putting it all together. They are top for defense, and offense. And that means that they're putting it both together on the other end of the floor, and they need that. You cannot go into the rest of the season the way you did last year, which was, we're just going to work on shooting a bunch of threes and not really defending and half-ass defense. I think that they've flipped that switch around this season. Love what they are doing. I'm very confident in this group of guys.
Awesome. And one more question too as well. Quetta or Cornette? Because this been a debate for the past couple of days for Celtic fans. It's like, who would we rather see get more minutes between? Because we seen Joe Mazzulla, sometimes he'll play Cornette a little bit more than Quetta, and then sometimes in like matchups, he will play Quetta a lot more than Cornette. So who would you rather take, like, every game? Would you rather take Quetta or Cornette?
I'm going to say both. And it's because it depends on the matchup, and what I want Celtics fans to understand, you need both of them, There are some games where you're going to play Cornette because he's bigger than everybody and he can actually finish around the basket, so you're going to need him. On the other side of that, you're then going to sometimes need Quetta because he can move his feet well. He likes to, lob it up, finish it, very active, rebounds very well. You're going to need him because he moves his feet better than Cornette. So I like both of them. It just depends on the matchup, but you're going to need both of them. Those are two guys that at some point in very important games, one and then the other on another game, they're gonna help win that game.
I agree with you. I said the same thing. I said both just because it just depends on the matchups at the end of the day. Kornet's playing really simple basketball. Quetta, he plays simple basketball, but he provides more of an energy boost than Kornet does, though. But Kornet will get the job done at the end of the day. So, yeah, it just really just depends on matchups, though. So, yeah, this is episode 7 of the Celtics Rewind, talking all things Boston Celtics. Definitely check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and also on HoopSpaces YouTube channel too as well. And definitely keep on looking out for what we'll be doing on X. You have it in the description. Follow us on X, and we're definitely going to keep you informed of what we're going to be doing next. And then look out for episode 8 next week, talking Boston Celtics. I'm JP, the franchise. She's Nat the GM, and we see y'all later. Y'all have a wonderful day. Peace out.